The Fresh Season 2024 update is now out, and with it comes a whole bunch of new features, content, quality of life updates, and so much more. So I thought it'd be a good idea going over 8 new features within this update that you might have missed. Rather than focusing on the main things like new weapons and a new stage and such, I'm going to be sharing some of the lesser known new features which are still really important to know about. So leave a like on this video if you're ready to learn something new about the Fresh Season update, and let's jump right into this. Starting us off, Nintendo is adding a brand new emote which is called Square Show Off, and I say brand new, it's actually from Splatoon 2 for the first time being brought to free. Now the really cool thing about this emote is it'll actually change depending on what weapon you're using, pretty much just like they would back in Splatoon 2. This is a really fantastic emote and a really cool little mechanic and gimmick. A lot of people had been wanting to see the win animations from Splatoon 2 make a comeback, so here you go, you can finally get some of them, and you can test out all of the different weapons to see what the reaction looks like for you. I think this is really cool as it effectively adds a ton of different emotes to the game in one go, so once you unlock this one, you'll definitely have a lot to look forward to. Overall, the catalog has some really cool emotes this time around. Speaking of emotes, for the second thing on our list, emotes will now actually show off properly in the catalog. Rather than just appearing as static images, we'll now actually get a preview in the catalog of what the emotes look like, which I think is a really cool quality of life upgrade. This could definitely incentivize certain players to go ahead and work towards getting an emote in the catalog that they think looks really cool, but maybe they wouldn't have done if they couldn't properly see it like this. Previously, we've had to go onto YouTube and look up compilations of all the new emotes and such, but now we don't have to do that because we can just go into the game and check them out ourselves, which is exactly what a quality of life upgrade should do, make life easier. Like I said, there are some really cool new emotes in this season, especially the one right at the end of this catalog, so there's going to be a lot of exciting things to work towards in the Fresh Season, but I especially love the fact that they're still making improvements to the catalog. We've honestly seen the catalog improve time and time again as the updates have gone by, and this is just another great example of an update that makes the catalog even better for Splatoon 3 players. Let me know in the comments section down below which of the catalog rewards you're most excited for, as I would love to hear. Moving on, you'll have a new reason to check the shops every day, as over 150 returning gear from Splatoon 2 will be added to their inventories. Finally, we have a proper gear update, not one that just adds new gear to the catalog. You'll now be able to go check out the shops once again and find a bunch of different gear that you haven't been able to get until now. There are going to be so many fan favorites returning from Splatoon 2. In fact, my coat that you see my character wearing in my profile picture, I can finally get it in the game all this time later. This is our second Fresh Season update, and this is the first time I've been able to get my piece of gear. So as you can imagine, I am incredibly excited. You'll have to wait until the first to see all of the new pieces of gear, although there might be some online if you look around. But yeah, I think it's really exciting that we'll finally have a reason to actually check the shops again. I genuinely haven't looked in the shops in Splatoon 3 in months now. It has been so long. I just haven't really had any reason to, given the fact that I've got all the pieces of gear that I want. So now that they're adding so much new gear in, there will be a completely new reason to check in, and we can feel very nostalgic for Splatoon 2 as well, which is great. Speaking of gear, there'll be some new ways to adjust gear, which is really cool. You might remember the adjust gear feature from a few updates ago. Well, Nintendo has confirmed that now it'll apply to certain glasses, visors, hoodies, sweaters, layered t-shirts, and shoes with socks as well. So there will be lots more options for adjusting gear. I imagine that a lot of the gear that is returning from Splatoon 2 will be adjustable, which is really great to hear about. That's going to give a whole new dimension to this gear and basically mean the possibilities will be endless. There's going to be so many different combinations of gear that you're going to see players wearing in the game, which is absolutely fantastic. So that is something that honestly excites me a lot. I know some people were disappointed we didn't get any major new customization options with the DLC releasing, but the fact of the matter is we are getting a ton in the main game itself, with new ways to adjust gear, a ton of new gear being added, and new emotes itself. So I'm overall very satisfied with the amount of new stuff we're getting in terms of customization. Yeah, I would have loved to have seen more, but just the fact that we can now do all of this cool stuff with our gear that we've known for years just to be one particular way, I think is really fantastic and definitely adds an exciting new element to the game that we previously didn't have. Of course, not every new piece of gear will be adjustable, so make sure you check in the game itself to see if it has an adjustable icon. If it does, then you know you'll be able to mess around with it, and you can do so when the update drops. Nintendo has also confirmed they have added 2 new songs to the next update. Now, I haven't heard these songs myself yet, they might be going around the internet somewhere, but yeah, it's always cool to see new music added to the game. As we know, there are a lot of people who are massive fans of the music of Splatoon, and honestly, who isn't? The music is absolutely great. So yeah, we will get some new tracks. Basically, this means that right at the start of the new season, these tracks will be playing a lot, which is honestly really cool. Nintendo tends to prioritize when they add in new music, so if you do want to hear these tracks, make sure you play within the first sort of week of the fresh season online, and then you should be able to hear them. Aside from that, they will still rotate into matches randomly, and also I'm sure you'll be able to listen to them on the jukebox too. But yeah, if you want to hear the new music a lot and kind of feel that fresh season feeling right at the start of the new update, then definitely make sure to jump into some matches right away so you can listen to whatever new tracks have been added by Nintendo. Let's hope for some new Splatfest music in the near future. Now, one of the most interesting and important changes going forward is the Splatfest Points changes which they detailed in the patch notes. Nintendo confirmed that the points earned by each division during the final results have been adjusted, and the second place team in each division will now also earn points. So as you can see here are all of the point changes. And what's really interesting about this is if they had retroactively applied this to all the other Splatfests, we would have had a lot of different results, which is crazy to think about. So Splatfests have really been turned up on their head with this update. Now, I'm personally not sure what to think about it. I don't really know whether this is a positive or a negative change, or just something more neutral, but it certainly is going to affect Splatfest a lot going forward. With the most recent Splatfest, we have seen a ton of complaints, so I'm sure that is why Nintendo decided to do this now. Thankfully, we do still have a few Splatfests to go, it seems like, before updates stop, so hopefully this will make a difference in terms of people feeling like things have been a bit unfair up until this point. I would definitely love to see this be a positive change for the community. Finally, Nintendo has added a new side order feature to the Nintendo Switch Online app, the Splatnet free app, where you can actually check out all of the stats that you've got in side order. Now, you will of course have to have the DLC to use this, but I still wanted to mention it as it is a part of the new update to this app. There are honestly some really cool stats and details in here that you'll want to know about, like how many enemies you've defeated, what pallets you've collected in the past, etc. It's really cool to see Nintendo give us access to this information, as I feel like a lot of games don't, and it's great to have just an easy way of accessing it anytime we want, so we can show it off if we'd like to. Let me know your thoughts though about all of these updates down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear. If you made it to the end, be sure to comment Splat Gang so I know you did. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, and if you haven't already, consider subscribing and turning on channel notifications for more videos.